We need it done this year.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
And I'm Spencer.
And this is the Board Game Rundown. Today, we are going to review Cat in the Box, a quantum trick-taking game from Bezier Games.
Yep.
Bob, how do we play Cat in the Box?
So it's a trick-taking game. You're going to deal out all the cards that you have according to your player number. Everybody's going to take one of your cards and set it aside. And then as you play your cards, you're going to determine what suit it is once you observe it. So it's like, oh, this 5 here, which has no suit in my hand, as soon as I play it, it becomes the color of my choice. So I'm going to play a 5 blue. When I play the 5 blue, I'm going to take one of my little player pieces and put it over the appropriate color. And then everybody else is going to continue to, like normal trick-taking games, you can follow suit. As you follow suit, you will put your bits in there. However, say there's no place for you to put a bit out there, or you want to not follow suit, you can choose to take your bit off of your little player card here, and I'm not going to play blue anymore. I will pull the blue off, and I'll instead play a yellow 6, place a 6 wherever a 6 might be on your yellow, and you're going to continue going from there. As people take the tricks, you will have started out by bidding how many tricks you think you can take. So you're going to take the tricks. You're going to play out the entire hand. You cannot play red. Red is considered the trump. You can't lead it until it has been broken, if you're familiar with that term for playing normal trick-taking games like spades and whatnot. You can't lead that until somebody else has already played it on a hand previously. Once all the cards are played out, or if somebody creates a paradox by, oh shoot, all I have left are 6s and there's no place to place a 6, that ends the round immediately. Whoever creates the paradox is then going to get negative points for all the tricks they have taken. People who have bid correctly will get the points for each trick. Well, you're always going to get the points for your trick unless you create the paradox. And then you're going to get a bonus for nailing your bid equal to your longest orthogonally connected pieces. So if you've got like 4 pieces connected, you get 4 bonus points. If you only got the 1, you just get the 1 piece. That'll be bonuses for that. And you're going to play a number of rounds equal to the number of players. When you're done, you're going to tally up all of your scores and figure out who won. And that is the basic gist of how to play.
Now, we are playing the Deluxe Edition.
It is Deluxe,
that you picked up at Origins.
I did.
Hot game at Origins.
It was. I had to get in line before they even opened.
Yes, so hot.
So
anyways.
what does the normal edition look like? What's the difference?
Good question.
They didn't have any there. All they had was Luxa. So this was actually a game that was released in Japan for a long time. Bezier Games picked up the rights to it, and they have released it here in America.
Here in the United States.
Yeah.
What's in the box?
Guessing like maybe these bits aren't quite as nice, maybe not dual layered, but for right now, this is the version that is
Did you
available.
sleeve these, or did they?
I sleeve the cards because there's a lot of shuffling cards in hand. Yeah, so I sleeve those.
Got it.
These things come dual layered, which is nice. It keeps them from sliding around. Same with this, dual layered. Yes, because depending on player count, you have a 2 to 3 player, or a 4 to 5 player.
Gotcha.
Yep. It's a standard size card sleeve.
Okay, so I mean, we basically just then covered components by accident.
By accident, yes, we covered components. So yes, there is like challenge modes and stuff too. So these cards do slide out. On the back side, they do have like they're different, right? So it moves the number slots back and forth, so that way not all the 1s are in line, all the 2s are in line. It does kind of add some variation.
Like in this
to
one,
the,
there are no trumps below 4.
Yep. So that kind of adds up some variety to how you would play.
Right on.
And these guys are just placeholders. So depending on player count, like, oh, there's no 9s in a 4-player game.
Right.
So those just block out the 9s.
Right, yeah.
So that's all that is.
Make total sense. All right, let's go into final, what?
The insert. The insert.
Yeah.
The inserts, it's pretty nice. There is a spot. They do hold all the bits. It's kind of fiddly to get everything in there lined up, but it will hold everything. And then once you put the score pad in the instruction book, it holds it in there quite nicely. You can sleeve the cards. The cards fit in there sleeved good, which is nice as well.
Sure, good point. Good point. All right. Let's just also say this plays 2 to 5 players.
Yes.
Half hour. I would agree with that
Yep.
time. It says 14 and up. I also probably agree with that. With
Yeah.
as fiddly and as it can get at
Yeah,
times. With
and this can be a little tricky to try to manage
sure,
that.
sure.
Yeah, there's a lot going on for such a simple game.
Correct. Yeah, for a simple trick-taking game, there is a little bit of area control basically
Right.
involved.
Right. Well, let's go to final thoughts.
Okay.
Final thoughts.
Spencer.
Yeah.
Let's start with you because I
Okay.
think I know what Bob's final thoughts are. I want to go with who I don't know whose
Okay.
final thoughts are.
Well, I'm not usually a big fan of trick-taking games. This one has that cool twist where you don't know where everything's the same suit.
Same suit until it's
They're all-
observed.
until you make it. Yeah, observe it. So one of the problems I had was as you're playing along and you're trying to figure this out, it takes 4 people to get around, you don't have a chance. Or you're trying to get these things, or trying not to get one, or trying to get one, and it comes around, you're like, I have to paradox. I don't have an option. And I find that incredibly frustrating. I
Yes.
hated the fact that I could see myself paradoxing 2 turns down the road and was like, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Well, I will say the counter to that is there was a time where I just needed actually 2 different times. I needed somebody to paradox before I did
Correct.
in that round. So
True.
He played to force a
But
paradox
see, here's
Yeah.
the thing. You needed someone to paradox so that you had the right number that you had
of
guessed.
tricks taken.
I did not have the right number of tricks. I was denied ever getting the right number of tricks, and I was
Sure.
in a paradox. So
Correct.
I can't do anything about that. And
So the thing to do about
I
that would
hated
be
that.
to try to trump early, right? To even if
No,
like
the
you know
trumps
what,
were gone.
huh?
The trumps were gone.
that round,
Yeah.
but I understand what
Sure,
you're
sure.
saying.
No. They were gone early. I had an 8 and a 7 and a 7. 8 and 7 were both played.
I played
before
those
I
turn
had
2,
a
turn 3. I
chance.
played those.
Yeah.
It was
yes.
terrible.
Well, and that's because I forced that issue.
Yeah.
That was kind
Right.
of
Right.
So I was not a fan.
yeah. Okay.
Bobby.
Yeah, so I liked it. Cause I like trick-taking games. I like that there's an area control. I like trying to force other people into paradoxes, right? Like, so I know in my hand, if I have 3 of a kind, I'm getting rid of one of those cards I have 3 of because the odds of being able to play 3 6s in a turn, slim to none, right? So I got down to at least 2. And then when I saw that 2 of those spaces were taken already, even though I might have other options to play some blues, you know what? I got to get this out of my hand to not paradox. I would break out of a color early just so I could free that space up to make sure I got that card out of my hand. And that's something you have to try to plan for. And I enjoy that strategy of trying to game the system to try to push other people into paradoxes and to make sure I'm able to play all of my cards.
Yeah, no, in theory, this is a game, the concept, I heard the concept of it, and I'm like, this is amazing. I'm going to love this game. Then I played it, and I found it very frustrating.
Okay.
So the issue I will have with this game that I've had, it's kind of funny because it's another game that you love and that I just did not have a good time playing at all, is it lends itself to runaway leader very
Yeah,
early.
it does.
And
Yeah.
Okay. See, I don't get that because all you do is push me into
No, because
I know you look at
you're-
our score and I didn't go negative at all because I pushed other people to
but
paradox
4,
instead of
7,
paradoxing myself.
6, 6,
Yes.
2, negative
No,
2,
what he
5,
means is-
3. Hold on, negative 2, 1, negative 1, 5, 5, like doing good, 1,
Doing well.
negative 2. But here's the thing is, so sure, you never went negative.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes.
You also forced everybody else to go negative.
Yes.
Runaway leader. Nobody else could catch up to you at that point.
Yeah. If
Well,
you go negative
If
once,
you had
it's a
pushed me in the
major
negative in the last
disadvantage.
round, then it would have been some negative
What?
points. -3 points.
Oh, okay, so
a
you would have had 20
A
and
9-point swing because I wouldn't have gained anything, and I would
Sure.
have been a 9-point swing.
So, okay, so you'd
it
have got
would
a
have been
17, then minus 3 points for
a
your 3
9-point
tricks.
swing. I'd have been at 14. It'd have been a lot closer if you had not gone negative
14 to
twice.
9 is still huge. And that would have been the very last round, and that's if. I'm just saying this has that problem potentially.
Okay.
So, yes, you are right. A 9-point swing. But you were so far ahead that a 9-point swing was irrelevant. It was irrelevant. It
Yeah.
would have needed that plus half to even make it close. So,
we were-
runaway leader.
We were in round 3, and we were like, Bob's, you were ahead, or we were tied, or no, you were
You
ahead
were-
by 1.
I have.
You
found,
were in it till round 3.
I was into round
I have-
3.
Dan and I
I've-
were never in it.
The moment round 3 ended, we all knew exactly what was going to win.
You
and
did the
there was
problem I
nothing
had
we could do
with
about it.
the night before, and if you look at my scores, they weren't great either, right? Because I was trying to do a lot of tricks and play high at the beginning, but then it leaves you nowhere to go.
Right.
You're better off playing in the middle early, and that leaves you room to branch above and below and to
Sure.
either side.
So I guess my problem
which
is
leads to bigger bonuses.
unlike Spencer,
Uh-huh.
I love trick-taking games.
Yes.
And Dan doesn't like trick-taking games, which is fine. I love them. I love playing trick-taking games all the time. I
Yep.
love it.
Yep.
Midwestern kid,
I hear you.
it's a thing. But for this, I could never get this part of the board, which I really think is really interesting, to sync up with this part.
It
And
is
it's
very
so
difficult.
counterintuitive to how you play trick-taking games.
Yes.
You have to play this
Differently.
not like any other trick-taking game
Correct.
you've ever played, which should be a positive. But for me, I didn't get to play a trick-taking game the way I enjoy playing a trick-taking game.
Sure.
So I did not have fun playing it.
Right, because it's not just trick taking. Yes, you're doing trick taking, but you also have to keep in mind
Right.
the area
And the
control of it.
trick-taking is really... It's not tacked on or arbitrary. It just comes at it at such a weird angle
Yeah,
that it's not...
because the trick taking is basically going to help you take full advantage of your area control. Because you could just be like, you know what, screw this. I'm going to take as many tricks as I can and just earn points off of that. And you could totally do that.
And then you could accidentally paradox and get negative 20 points.
Now,
Yeah.
play better.
So that's the question I had. You played more trick-taking games than I have.
I played a
How
ton.
many of them have negative points when you can't?
I mean,
A lot of them
euchre,
do.
spades,
A lot
yeah,
of them
ton
do.
of them
Yeah.
do.
Okay.
Ton of them do.
Some of the ones I grew up playing were like that too. You
Skull
either nail
King.
exactly which. There's one called Book, which is normal trick taking game, but you bid at the beginning, and if you take more or less, you go negative completely.
Yeah, exactly.
Completely.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. So I'm used to it being
Probably why I don't
punishing.
like trick-taking games.
I'm used to it being punishing, but also though when somebody else craps out, it doesn't tank my whole game, because that's also what happened when Dan
Okay.
paradoxed, and I would have
That's true.
taken the
The
trick.
trick, it helped
I
and
would have
scored
scored
a
some
ton of points.
Yes.
Yep.
That's
yes.
true.
So
So be mad at Spencer.
I'm mad at. I mean, I'm mad at the game. It's not
Dan's the one
the,
who paradoxed
not the
that round.
player's fault. To me, it's the game's fault, because
Okay.
I can't. Dan was not. It's not like he was intentionally trying to paradox to jack my turn. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Oh,
He's
yeah.
still trying to play his game. But so everybody else totally jacked my turn, and not because of strategy, like because they had good planning. It's like no, because of the way everything else played out. And not even that he played badly, but just sometimes it's luck.
Well, I
It
think it's
destroyed
a
his
lot
turn.
luck.
It destroyed my turn, and it only let you guys have good turns by accident.
Yeah. And
You
I
know.
think that there's a certain amount of luck in any card game,
Sure.
especially in
100%.
trick-taking games.
And I like that.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. at
No,
all.
I don't mind it either. But then this actually adds more luck. It doesn't add as much strategy as people think, because I get to place one, and then 3 others go down, and I have no idea what you guys have, and it's not going to make logical sense because those are random. So this is a random grape shot thing.
There were times where I knew I was going to be able
Yeah,
to
you might be
take
able
a
to.
trick, because I knew that that you couldn't play a certain color,
Yeah.
and that Bob didn't want to take any more tricks.
Yep.
So I knew he would not. I liked that aspect. But
Correct.
that was
Yeah.
like one shining moment in a.
But that was in like what, the third or fourth round. So I'm thinking like if you now knowing that when you go to play again, you can take those ideas into consideration earlier in the game.
Yes, but it was still really frustrating.
Okay.
It was
And I was
still
super
really
frustrated the
frustrating.
first time that I played too.
Sure.
But now that I've played it a few times and I understand how those things are going to
And
work.
I also-
then I know I have 2 of these and one of those. That one card is probably going to be more safe. I need to play one of these ones I have 2 of to make sure I get it out of my hand.
And I don't ever really honestly mind losing a game, but I do hate getting curb stomped. I hate it. It makes it miserable. And guess what?
You got curb stomped.
Yeah, we did. We all
Well,
did.
Not as
collectively.
bad as
But see, the first
bad
couple
for
of
Dan.
games, we were all on the same foot. The scores were much closer.
But if you add all of our scores together,
Yeah.
so 7 plus 8, 15, we still would have lost to you by 8 points. So
The
if that
9-point
9-point
swing
swing
would have made a difference.
collectively, we would
You
have.
forgot,
See?
you forgot the minus
No,
2.
that's why I said 8 plus 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's 8 and 9, right?
Yeah.
So,
That's terrible.
yeah. Anyways, guys, let's go into the rating.
yes.
How
Bob,
do we do the rating?
yes.
How do we do the rating?
So we're all going to give this a rating on a scale of 1 to 10, including 0.5s, so that if you agree with me more, you can, you know what I like.
Sure.
But if you agree with Spencer and Tim, but we're going to average them together, and that'll be the score that you see on BGG and all the other things. So this is what the board game rundown gave it as a whole.
Sure. Before we go in any further, real quick, I will say this is a game that in a couple months we will play again, and I
Yes.
want to see if scores have changed.
Okay.
I'm committing to that.
Okay.
But this is our rating.
right now. After one play for them, well, Spencer played it twice.
I played twice.
I played the preview at the show where I learned how to play, and then I taught Spencer, and then I taught you guys.
Yep.
So this is technically my third outing with the game.
Right. Spencer, why don't you go first?
Okay.
Number.
Just number.
Yeah, you already did your final thoughts.
All right.
What's your number?
Number right off the top. I'm giving this one a 4.5.
Wow!
I really didn't
You
like
would
this.
never play this game again? Is that what you're trying to say?
No. For me, I would play this game again if someone brought it out and that's what everyone wanted to play. But in no other situation would I play this game.
Wow.
It's
So I know
not
what
one
I'm
of the
getting
games
you.
where I would walk out of the room. There's only one that I've played so far where I would not play it again.
Okay.
I would play this one again if everyone else needed to play it.
Wow.
All right, Bobby. Do you need to compensate? With
I'm going to give it what I gave anyway, regardless. I'm going to give it an 8. Like, I really enjoyed this game. I think it's a super cool twist on trick-taking games. Yes, it doesn't play exactly like other trick-taking games will, but I enjoy that. Like, because all those other ones are basically the same to me.
Yeah.
Like, why play Skull King when I can play Spades? Why play,
Sure.
many other games play the same that this adds enough of a twist that I enjoy it, and
I guess I
would like
don't
to try
feel
it some
that.
more.
I guess I feel why play Spades when I can play Skull King, because I think Skull King is better.
Sure, or like
this-
in Diamonds, right?
the-
That's another one
right,
that's
but
very
Diamonds plays different
similar.
enough that I don't need to.
Okay.
I like there's different strategies with it.
Sure,
This also different strategies.
strategies.
I totally agree. 6.5. I think that I really wanted to like this. This is like Dan coming in a smartphone. This is everything
Yeah.
I love in a game,
Yeah,
and then I
I
played it,
really
and I'm
wanna
like,
like
ugh.
And it was
This
a
hurts.
huge
I gotta
line.
stop teaching them games because every time I curb stomp a game in a game,
Yeah.
they don't like
well,
it.
you only have the one gear. That's your fault, and you know it's
I
a
didn't
problem.
do it deliberately though.
But you do it every time. You say you don't do it deliberately,
I know.
but you do it every time.
I try to play well and not deliberately tank my.
Now, before we
What
get
I'm
the
doing.
final thing, this was super popular at the con.
It was
Oh.
super popular.
There were,
We're
sold out
probably
immediately.
Spencer and I are probably in the minority. I think
Yeah.
most people are going to be like Bob. They're going to think this is a pretty good game. Again, I want to come back and play it again later.
Yeah, after
I
a
need
few
some time to
plays.
recover.
Yeah.
And review it again after we played it a few times.
Yeah. But our scores together, 6.3.
And I will say, full
better than a
disclosure,
6.3.
if Dan was here, it would be the average
Probably
would
be
be
even
lower.
lower because Dan did not enjoy his.
Right.
experience.
He
Apparently
abstained
stomping everybody.
I think that is the largest spread we've ever had.
You
It's
weren't
pretty
here last
close.
time we did a review.
Oh,
yeah, that was not a
I
good
was not
spread
here.
either.
No,
However,
wow. We're
Yeah,
getting to
they're
games
they're
where
just
there's
wrong.
a difference of
There are a
opinion.
lot
We're going to
of-
have some controversial.
there are a lot of not good games out there. This was not one of them.
But anyways, guys, for the board game rundown, I've been Tim.
I was Bob.
I'm Spencer.
This was Cat in the Box. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for checking out the Board Game Rundown. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share our videos on social media and spread the word. We publish new content weekly, including reviews, unboxing, and Let's Plays. And as always, thanks for watching.